Good morning, everyone. It's a great Friday morning here in Seoul, Korea. And I know how much you guys have waited for the weekend. And the weather's going to be warm and nice, but at the same time, be aware of the fluctuation of the temperature. Now, many staff here at the TBS efm radio station have colds and fevers, including myself. So we hope you guys have a wonderful plan for the weekend. But if you haven't got one yet and you're really sick too, it's better that you rest at home. That's what I'm going to try to do, is try to get some rest in between all the concert rehearsals and all that good stuff. Or maybe get some fresh air, so go on a short little walk. And I promise I'll sound better ASAP with all the medication and the fluids that I'll be taking. But most importantly, I wish all the listeners are healthy and happy today during the weekend. So let's start today with a great song. We got a song by an artist named Millie Sande. The song is called Next to Me. That was Millie Sande with Next to Me. What a great song. Right now, you guys are tuning into What's Poppin' with Brian Ju on TBS efm 101.3 in Seoul and its surrounding areas, GFN 98.7 in Gwangju, and 93.7 in Yeosu. Now, a couple of things, of course. If you guys have an email that you want to send us, the address is efmpoppin@gmail.com. Also, if you're curious about a playlist, we got that up on our website. Come to tbsefm.soul.kr/efm/what's poppin'. Also, of course, the easiest way, hit us up on Twitter. But to do that, please follow us as well at TBS What's Poppin'. But for now, a word from our sponsors. All right, once again, it's time for today's pick. Now, I have a crazy schedule, and it's very common that I have to stay up all night. So today, I'd like to talk about how to stay up all night. Now, do you ever wish that you could have more time to do the things that are important, but there just isn't enough hours in the day? Now, you could hypothetically stay up all night, staying alert and working more efficiently and diligently. But if you're having a hard time staying up late, here are some great tips. Of course, drink something caffeinated. That's a given. But did you know if you pace your coffee drinking, you won't crash heavily and painfully in those hours between 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., which is the time slot when most people fail to stay awake. So, coffee takes about 15 to 30 minutes to kick in, but the benefits from it can last 3 to 4 hours. Now, if you plan on drinking a cup of coffee every few hours, you'll stay awake and energized. Number 2, make the atmosphere cool. Now, to sleep, your body prefers to be at a warm temperature. So the warmer the temperature of your environment, the more you're going to want to fall asleep, and the harder it will be to stay awake. So maybe turn on a fan in your room, or if you can, open the window, or maybe the air conditioner might help as well. Number 3, switch tasks. Now, monotonous work, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again for an extended period of time can be just as bad as sleep deprivation for staying alert. Now, this means when you feel yourself getting drowsy, switch tasks to something more difficult that requires greater concentration. And number 4, eat a healthy snack. Now, low blood sugar can make you super groggy and sleepy, and even sometimes making you feel all foggy inside. So you need to keep your energy level up, and to do that, you'll need a healthy snack. Now, you especially want to eat snacks that will give you more energy to burn for a longer period of time. Last but not least, play an upbeat song. But it can't be too exciting, because then sometimes you'll feel like you're at the club and you won't want to get into that serious work, but you want to go dancing. So we have the perfect song for you guys right now to keep you awake during those hard, difficult hours. This is Avicii with Wake Me Up. That was Wake Me Up by Avicii, of course, featuring Aloe Black. Now, Avicii, for most of you guys, because you guys probably don't know, is a Swedish DJ. I did not know that, so good to know. And recently, he hinted to his fans about his upcoming second album. He wrote, "Relaxing in a Laguna Beach for a couple of days before going back to work on the second album. Can't wait for people to see what's in store." I know that was a very mixed up accent of like Irish, Scottish, and British. I can't do a Swedish accent, y'all. Anyways, the 24-year-old has released his Avicii by Avicii remix album last March, featuring his own alternative mixes for each of the tracks on his debut LP. Now, the next song that we're going to get into is by an indie artist called Rizzo. Now, he's a Chicago native with a sound that pushes the envelope of R&B soul music. Now, according to his interview, he tries to blend a traditional soul element with a gothic and mysterious atmosphere to give listeners a cinematic experience. Ooh. Now, he has put out a single on the internet such as Red Wine, Skinny Jeans, and Flush, and he's currently working on his debut album, I Am Rizzo, which is coming soon. And the song we're going to play for you guys right now is called Flush, and this song is about a special girl, and the song is in a kind of a 90s style, so I'm pretty sure all you 90s fans are going to enjoy this song. So here's Rizzo singing Flush. That was Flush by Rizzo himself. Now, lots of talented indie musicians out there, and most indie musicians do the DIY thing or do it yourself for their album covers and music videos. So like many indie musicians, Rizzo also self-produced his album and he shot and directed his own music videos, composing and designing music for film and TV as well. Now moving on to the next artist, who's going to be the last artist for the first segment of our show. We got Mr. the multi-talented, of course, not Mr., but Misters and the Misses in this group. We got will.i.am, Apple D-App, Taboo, and Fergie. Now, recently, their leader, will.i.am, was on the news for a photo about a silly incident that happened with American Airlines. Now, will.i.am was kicked out of the first-class lounge because the airline believes that he had a fake membership card. Now, he told his fans on his social networking sites, of course, they're making a big mistake, and he has a legitimate membership card. And this actually happened very recently, so we don't have any updates on what actually happened. But for now, what we do have is a song from the Black Eyed Peas off the third album, and the song is called BEP Empire. Welcome back to the second half of What's Poppin'. And you guys know today is Friday, which means my girl Punita will be dropping by the studio for a segment called Say What. So if you guys want to find out about some hot news, keep it here. But for now, a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the second half of What's Poppin'. Right now, I got my girl, Punita. The reason why I sound like this is, as y'all know, I've been sick all week.
Oh, no.
So Punita is actually keeping her distance from me. I hugged her earlier to say hey, and she's like, oh, get your cooties off of me.
I don't want cooties. It's Friday. I don't want cooties for the weekend.
Really? For the weekend?
For the weekend. See? It's already on me.
You got the cooties.
I do have the cooties.
Or you call them the Jubies.
What's the Jubies?
My last name is Jew. So Cootie. Judy's.
Judy's?
Yeah.
So then are my cooties booties? Because it's Bajaj, cooties, booties. Probably.
All right, whatever you want to call it. But right now, we're not talking about booties and Judies. We're talking about Say
What.
And you got some news, don't you?
I do have some news. We have like variety of news today in the music
started off,
business.
girl.
I think people are going back to school now.
What's that?
School.
Why do you call it shul?
Because I saw it in a movie once and I thought it was funny.
Well, in the UK, they say schedule instead of schedule.
They do, so it could be shul.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the world.
Pretty sure it's school.
Yeah.
But either way.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Sean Puff Daddy Combs received an honorary doctorate at Harvard University.
Okay.
Now, LL Cool J also got one, but he is not the only member of the hip-hop community receiving an honorary doctorate this year. Puff Daddy was at Howard University last week to receive his honorary doctorate and also delivered a graduation commencement speech.
Awesome.
Howard University is famous for the prestigious historical black institution for education stationed in Northwest D.C. since 1867, which is also known for its notable alumni and celebrating their huge homecoming festivities. But actually, I think Howard's homecoming, of course, is far less important in magnitude than other annual occurrences, which is their graduation. Last Saturday, one of its most renowned former students, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, delivered the convocation oration and was awarded an honorary doctorate of humanities.
Okay.
But as always, there are always those haters.
Because haters gonna hate.
The crowd who didn't believe Combs was an appropriate selection as a graduation speaker for good reasons. But I think it's amazing that he actually went back, and it takes a lot of guts to get back on stage.
That is true.
For those of you who don't know his history, because I didn't know, he actually completed 2 years at Howard, and then Combs dropped out in 1990. The former business major made the decision to take the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for Andre Harrell's record company. But either way, he was very happy and honored to receive the doctorate. He quoted, "I want to thank everyone who made it possible for me to come back home," Combs said. His mom and his friends, including Mary J. Blige and Andre Harrell, attended the ceremony. So, way to go.
Way to go, P. Diddy. So, of course, we got to listen to a song.
Yes, we do.
And the song that we're going to play for you right now, since we talked about Diddy, is a song by Diddy featuring Drake himself, Loving You No More. That was Diddy featuring Drake, Loving You No More. That's a good song.
It is a good song.
It's a good song. But moving on.
Moving on.
You got more news.
Yes, Ariana Grande, Iggy Azalea is to perform onto the 2014 Billboard Music Awards.
Oh.
Now, the 2014 Billboard Music Awards has a huge problem on its hands.
What's that?
Now, breakout stars Ariana Grande and Iggy Azalea will perform their hit single Problem at this year's ceremony being held on Sunday, May 18th in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
And Azalea is also scheduled to perform her song Fancy during the live ABC telecast.
Okay.
Now, it's been monumental. It's been a hot year for Grande, whose Problem bowed at number 1 on Billboard's digital song chart and number 3 on the Hot 100. The highest debut of the year on both charts. Now, in addition to performing at the awards, Grande is a finalist for the Top New Artist Award.
Oh.
And on the other hand, Azalea's Fancy, featuring Charlie XCX, currently stands at number 4 on the Hot 100.
Okay.
And then with Problem, with number 3, Azalea is the first female rapper ever to have 2 songs concurrently in the top 5 of the Hot 100 chart.
Well, I don't think that's a problem. That's a good thing for the girls.
That's a cray problem.
That's a cray problem. Mm-hmm. Problem?
Problem.
As you can see, I'm sick, so I can't really speak anymore. Problem.
Is that really your excuse?
It's problem.
It's a big problem.
I'm letting the Korean out in me.
Yes.
Problem.
Yes.
Yes. Alrighty, so you're talking about Ariana Grande and Iggy Azalea.
Yep.
Which one of these two are you a fan of?
I am more of a fan of Iggy Azalea, as Joe Park would say.
Yes, Joe Park missaid her name last week and said Iggy Azalea.
I don't think he knows that he mispronounced it, though.
It's all good. But you know who made the English language?
Who did?
The UK.
The UK.
Not the Canadians.
No, Harry Potter did.
Harry Potter.
Dear Mr. Potter.
Harry Potter must not go back to Hogwarts.
I love Harry Potter.
It's a great movie.
Anyways.
But right now, we're going to get into the Ariana Grande song, Problem, featuring Iggy Azalea.
Yep.
That was my girl, Ariana Grande,
Is she a girl?
featuring Iggy Azalea.
That's my girl.
Okay. And what's the song called?
The
Problem.
I was going to say it.
Yeah, but I'm causing a problem by cutting you off.
Blah, blah.
Problem. Good
Anyways.
song. Anyways.
Number 3.
Number 3, who are we talking about now?
We're talking about Clay Aiken.
Oh,
What?
American Idol Clay Aiken? Okay.
Now, this singer may soon be crowned the Democratic nominee for Congress in a North Carolina district.
Okay.
Now, we mentioned a few months ago that Clay Aiken is actually running for Congress. We knew he was being serious, but I actually never thought that he would actually win. Now, the final votes is by the North Carolina State Board of Elections show that Clay Aiken has a vote of 11,678 versus 11,288 by his opponent, Crisco, who actually passed away on Monday. Now, the interesting part is Keith Crisco, who was locked in a battle with former American Idol contestant for North Carolina's second house district, just suddenly passed away at his home on Monday.
Are you sure suddenly?
There
was nobody on the scene.
It was a big coinkadink.
Or Illuminati could have been involved.
Yes.
Well, I'm saying.
Definitely. Now, Aiken was actually ahead of the 71-year-old Crisco by 369 votes at the time of his death. But on Monday afternoon, he announced on his SNS that he was suspending all campaign activities, quote, as we pray for his family and his friends. Now, Aiken is an openly gay man in a district populated with many socially conservative and evangelical Christians. But he said that during the primary, he was never asked about his orientation except by reporters. So I guess that's a step up for, people nowadays.
What is?
That they don't really, ask about his orientation. They just
I actually zoned out for a little bit
be.
because I'm sick right now. I was listening, but I zoned out.
You zoned out?
Yes.
How dare you?
That's my next single, by the way, Zoned Out.
There are so many singles that I'm looking forward to. I'm so excited. But if you ever wondered how he became a politician, Aiken has donated his time and his voice to multiple benefit concerts and events. Also in November 2004, he was appointed a U.S. Fund for UNICEF National Ambassador with a mission to help ensure that children everywhere are afforded a primary education. Also in September 2006, Aiken was appointed to the Presidential Committee for People with Intellectual Disabilities by President George W. Bush. And appointees actually serve a 2-year term. So for 2 years, he was on that. Then, eventually, February 5th, 2014, Aiken announced his candidacy as a Democrat for for the North Carolina's 2nd Congressional District against Republican Party Congresswoman Renee Elmers. Then on February 27th, he officially filed to run for Congress by submitting his paperwork at the State Board of Elections.
Cool. Did you know Clay Aiken actually did a song at a concert that later became my song on my album?
No way!
Yes. It's a song called Tears Run Dry.
Uh-huh.
And he was supposed to put it on his album, but he never got to it. So the songwriter sent me the tracks, and I ended up putting it on my solo album.
No way.
So this song later, you got to look it up online on YouTube. Clay Aiken, Tears Run Dry. Of course, you can compare the two versions, of course. He sang it live only. But right now we have a song from Clay Aiken, and the song is called 1,000 Days. That was 1,000 Days by Clay Aiken. But guess what, y'all?
What?
It's time to wrap up a show.
Already? I want to talk about more about Clay Aiken.
Don't you have an announcement?
I do have an announcement.
What's the announcement?
Before we leave, on May 20th,
which is next Tuesday,
12:50 p.m., we have our very own open studio at Yonsei University.
And also, May 20th is a very special day because that's when the new Fly to the Sky album is going to drop, y'all. So get your copies. We put a lot of money into it, so we need to make some of that money back. So buy that copy, and if I ever see you in the streets, I will sign that CD for you. So enough. All right, but for now, we got to wrap things up. And the last song of our show is by Mos Def. The song's called Traveling Man. But once again, we want to thank Punita for being in here.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Once again, it's your boy Brian Jew and
Punita Bajaj.
Signing off. Peace.